What's up, high levelers? Funnel Doc here. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down estimates and invoices. Now, really, you can think about this as like an estimate is sort of like a proposal that you'd send to somebody. It's like, hey, here's like what worth it's going to cost, but it's not actually charging them. And then the invoice is the actual method that you'll send or the actual bill that you'll send them to charge them. So you can think of like an estimate as like a proposal and an invoice is like a bill, or that type of way where it's all listed out. Now, in another video, I am going to show you in documents how you can set up the document. So once they sign, it'll automatically have an invoice set up that they can pay then. So you can do sign and then go right to pay. But those are the main options that we have right now. And today we're going to be focusing on invoices and estimates. So let's jump inside today's video. All right. Now to access estimates and invoices, you're going to go down to the payments tab. You're going to click that bad boy, and then you'll see right here are estimates and invoices. So let's go ahead and jump into estimates. Now, this is a new builder that we have set up here. You're going to see at the top. Before we get into this and building it out, I want to jump into the settings tab. This is very important. A lot of important stuff inside here that you want to set up before you start building stuff out. So let's go ahead and click settings. Now that's the settings for estimates and invoices. And then you're going to see right here, you've got your logo, name, phone number, vital information you want. Your website can be put here. Any different custom values can be added. That's really great. The next one that's important will be your email configurator. If you want to set that up for your invoices to have a specific from name and from email, that way all your invoices will be the same. You also have the ability to change up the title. So maybe you don't want to send down, it's called an estimate or an invoice. We can change that out. And then you can also add the terms and the notes for each here for both estimates and invoices. You've also got the ability to pick what are your settings. First of all, what prefix do you want to use for estimates? It's preset to EST. And then how many days are your estimates good for? Would you like them to be good for 2 weeks, 30 days, 6 months? I wouldn't recommend making them good too long because then there's no urgency with it. 14 days is usually pretty good right here. And then invoices due after X days. So it could be maybe you're giving people a standard of 2 days. It could be a week or whatever it is. But right here is where you change it up. And you can see a lot of these are important things. So the other thing we've got here is allow partial payment. So if you come on, you click that on, you can then set what percentage you allow them to pay. So maybe you're doing 10% down initially for the estimate or the invoice. You can set that up and it will set right here for whatever you want that partial payment to be. You can also now charge late fees. So you come right here, 1% charge every month after invoice is overdue, the grace period of 30 days. And if you want to change those settings up, you'll come here, you'll click right here to manage, and then you're able to change up your percentage. So you could be like, hey, maybe it's 5%, every 3 months or whatever, so many days or weeks. And then you've got your grace period, and then you've got your ability to set a max fee. So that way they won't get charged more than X amount no matter what. And then you'll see here, you've also got the ability to set a flat fee or a percentage depending on what works best in that situation. And then the last one, which I love this, I think this is great. I'll never forget once I had a funnel client that tipped me $500. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever, but allow tips. So this is going to be displayed as 5%, 10%, 15%. If you wanted to do more, if you want to do 20%, you just come in here, you'd add that. And then you'll see when we get to the actual invoices, they only allow up to 3 on there. Sorry. So if you want to go 3% there, you'll see when we get to actually building out the invoices and estimates that this is going to be available on there. So we're going to leave that bad boy clicked. The next thing, we've got product settings here. So if you wanted to import whatever the description you might have, like if you built your products out already and you're importing in from the product section, this will bring the description in with it as well. Next thing is your reminder settings. So this is really cool. You don't necessarily need to build out reminders as much anymore. You can set them right here. So you can come right here and set however many different reminders you want. And you can see you have different emails. You can come in here and actually adjust it live right here. So you can come in, change up anything you want in this email. It's totally customizable. I love that they started doing that now. So remember, when you see this preview now, especially related to emails, you can go in and it'll be set to the default one they have, and that will be underneath emails, and we'll have that in a later video, but you can edit it right here. And then you've got your SMS template. You're not able to change that, but it is underneath your templates. You'll have to change it there. And then you've got your subject, which you can use your invoice or your custom values. And then you've got your ability to have a reminder sequence. Now, remember, these are for invoices or estimates, so you're not going to want to be badgering them. But like for this one, I've got, once it's set every 3 days after the invoice is overdue, it's going to give them a reminder. And then you've got for max 5, and you can do as many reminders as you want in here, I believe. Let's see if we can do, how many can we do? There's that. We've already done, there we go. So we've already done like up 5 reminders or max. There you go. So you can only do up to 5 reminders. Once you've picked them all, you just hit save. And then to delete them, you just come up by their name right here. You just hit the little trash can, auto deletes them, and we're good to go, just like. So those are your reminders. The next thing is your custom fields. So let's say that you had a custom field specifically that you wanted to bring in and be able to use in your invoices and estimates. You could set that up right here. So we come in and let's pick the one we have right here for just so we can list it. How often do you email your list? We're going to use that as our custom field. We're going to save that one just so you can see in the demo what it's going to look like. The next thing is notifications. So you've got right here, you've got customer notifications. You can again just the email right here, just like before. You can also save it as a template. You'll see right there. Same with SMS. You've got both your invoice received, you got your estimate received, you got your invoice payment successful, invoice payment failed, auto payment information, auto payment failed. So I'd go in, and if you're going to use these, take time, go in and really work on them, make them look special for you. I mean, they're pretty decent the way they are. You can see right here, but they're very basic and very plain. So, they're just like, hey, your subscription of total amount for invoice is overdue on blank date and will be processed through card, last 4, this is just for auto payment information. But you know what I mean. I just go there, just take a couple seconds, go through and make sure that they all fit your tone and inflection that you have like to talk about or when you're in your email. And now you've got next is your team notifications. You've got the same thing here. You've got all the same same emails that will go out, but these are going to go to team members. So you'll see when you get to the top right here, this are your different team notifications. So this would alert them as such, and this alerts whatever team member is tagged in according to that estimate. So it'll alert them. Next thing we're going to do is actually get into building these bad boys out now. So you're going to come here to start a new estimate. You can click right here at the bottom or right here at the top. We're going to click new estimate. And let's move me sort of in the middle right here. And now you're going to be able to see, here's your basic contact information or your business information. I mean, first of all, if you need to edit that, you just come right here. You can edit everything right there by clicking on this pencil. Next thing is going to be the customer. So you just come in, let's say we're doing me. Here we go. There's Jeff Bannock right there. Let's use that guy. Bam. So we've got that guy's pulled in now, and you'll see his contact information. Here's a preview, as well as your notes can be right here. You'll see preview in your notes. You'll see everything listed right here. Now, next thing you've got is your estimate setting. So then you're going to come right here and set. You'd select a member underneath the settings, the EST as your prefix. So now what is it? I usually recommend starting with a little bit longer number, maybe, in the 10s or 20s or whatever. It really doesn't matter. But a lot of times if people see it's like number 1 or 2, they might feel leery doing business with you, especially with high numbers. If they're like, well, dude, was this like the 3rd estimate you've ever done? So just something to think about, not a big deal or anything like that. And this number doesn't really mean anything. It's solely for tracking. So if you made it 3,000, it's not necessarily saying you're doing 3,000 of them. It's just using it for tracking. So it's not misleading at all, but some people do look at that stuff. Just something to think about. And then you've got your issue date as well as your expiry date, or when you want it to expire. You can see those listed right here on the actual estimate itself. And then you can come right here. Now, this is where you add products. If you want to add in tax automatically, you can set that up and it will do that by flipping this on. And the next thing you want to do is go ahead and add your product. So if I want to do a product live and add something right now, I can come in and I can select any product that's already listed, or I can click create product and make my own. So maybe this is for coaching sessions. So maybe it's funnel coaching. All right. And then we're going to set the type. This would be a service. And then the product name would be 12 coaching sessions, something like that. And then the normal amount for that is 5K. And then you can select a tax category if you want. I know that. And then if you want to save it for later use, you can. You can just click right here, and then this will add it as an actual product in your price catalog underneath your payment settings. Next thing is, if you wanted to add anything else, you can come right here. If you wanted to add more items, you hit save on that item. All right. And once I've decided that's a good price for everything, I don't want to save it. I'll just hit save like so. And then you'll see it'll be added here to the actual estimate. And again, this isn't meant for them to pay it. This is just being like an invoice of like, hey, here's how much everything's going to cost. Is this good for you? And that's why sometimes if you're going to do this, you might want to go ahead and just do what I'm going to show you in the next video when we talk about documents. This video is coming out tomorrow, where I'm going to show you how to actually do everything just like an invoice. They'll sign it, say, yeah, I'm willing to pay it. So that way they agree to it and then pay it on the next page, way they're making separate. That's one thing right now. If you're doing it this way, it's sort of like they're signing they'll say yes to the estimate, and then the invoice gets sent to them once they agree to it. You set up a workflow to be similar like that. Once you're done with it, you like how everything's set up. Again, it's pretty straightforward and simple, everything on here. Again, if you change that estimate name, like we talked about earlier, for the nomenclature, this is where that would change. And then when you're ready, you just hit send, and they'll get an email just like so. You'll come right here. You can pick, if we had text, the mobile number, we can do that. We're just going to send via email. We're going to go ahead and send this bad boy. All right. And you'll see right here that this is what it looks like. And you'll put view estimate. And then here's what the estimate looks like. Boom. You'll see at the top, accept estimate, reject estimate. And then what would happen, again, like I said, I just hit accept. The system would notify that. And then at that point, you'd have a workflow that recognizes it. I accepted the estimate. I have the ability to download it as a PDF as well. And then the next thing is that is usually the next step is to have a invoice set up, which we're going to have next and show you how to do that. All right. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you've got two types of invoices. You've got all your basic invoices. You've got templates for either estimates, or your invoices would be stored right here if you're doing templates, or you have reoccurring invoices. That's an invoice that you want to have every month. So we're just going to go to all invoices. And now we're going to come right here to this blue button, and you're going to hit new, and you're going to see we have the ability to do reoccurring and new. The only difference between reoccurring is we're going to go ahead and just show you real quick. Is when you're getting in the right here, you've got reoccurring invoice settings. So you'll come right here and you'll say, how often is this invoice? Oh, it's once a month. On the first, you can set any days of every month. You can set how long it's going to last, and you're going to send invoice blank days in advance. You've got when it's going to start, when it's going to end. And this is really the only main difference between a reoccurring invoice and a regular invoice. So let's go ahead and just click a regular invoice. You're going to see right here, you're going to come, and it's just like, it's very similar to the estimate. This is just one that they're able to pay. So you're going to come right here. You're going to have the name of your company just like before. You're going to pull your customer information. You're going to have your invoice settings. You have your invoice number. You have your expiration date and your issue date or due date. You've got your product. So again, we're going to come right here. This would have been a good reason to have saved that product before, but we're just going to go ahead and redo it again, just like so. And now we're going to save that. And you're going to see over here that it's now been added to the invoice. And you're going to see there's a pay button here that once they get it, they'll be able to see. You come, if you had wanted to add a discount code, you could add a discount in here. You have a percentage or a custom amount. So if I wanted to give them like $500 off or something like that, I just click, and then you'll see it's adjusted accordingly. If I want to delete it, I just hit the X. And then additional options, you'll just come right down here. Here would be any notes or anything if you wanted, all your different, just like any other builder we have in the system. You're able to import your different custom values and add links and that type of thing just to customize it, make it look a little better. Over here, you can see this is what the invoice is going to look like. Very straightforward. If I wanted to have something that was more, again, of a documentation, like a contract or something, I would do it in the documents. I do a contract in the document, have it sign it, and then have the invoice sent automatically when they sign so they can pay for it there. But this is just like if you have, like I said, coaching sessions, or maybe you have some, quick service that you don't need a full contract. Usually anything that are like $5,000, I usually don't really do contracts for unless it's, needs a scope or services or something like that. So then next thing you know, you've got the ability here, you've got preview, record payment, manage tips, late fees. You've got the ability to save it, and then you've got the ability to send it as well. So we're going to go ahead and send this invoice. You can see right here, if I wanted to edit the template, I could do that right here, as well as I can go into test or payment mode. So we're going to go ahead and hit on test mode on this, and then we're going to send it. And now you can see what this is going to look like. So if you come right here, so you see here is the invoice. And if we come right here, here's invoice. So click right here to the invoice. Again, it's very basic email. Those are the ones I showed you earlier. I highly recommend you customize them so they look better. And then you come right here. Again, this is in test. So I'm going to go 5K. You'll see it's in test mode. And then you've got your different availabilities. Here's your tips. So there's something else I want to show you too, is not only do you have availability to do card, etc., you can also do buy now, pay later with Klarna and with Affirm. You also have Google Pay too, which isn't buy now, pay later. But I thought that was something really cool now. You have the availability to allow your clients to be able to get finance options so that they can do payments on your stuff. And the way that Affirm and Klarna work is as soon as they get paid, they pay you. And then if your clients or whoever reneges on it and doesn't make payments, they go after them. You don't have to worry about anything. So I love offering those as options. So we'll go 4242, and you just come in here, you just fill out the same thing as always, and then you put your other amounts if you wanted to give them. So like that guy wanted to give me like $500, or whatever. You come in and then you'll see it would add it up once I put it in here and put in the right card. I'd hit pay, sends the invoice. And then what you'd recommend next in your workflow is when invoice is taken care of, that's when you're going to move in the next step. So it's automating your onboarding. So think about how that flow. If you're not doing the document, if you're doing estimate, invoice, what's the next step? Think about that when you're creating workflows. So that's pretty much it for today. That shows you everything you know about estimates and invoices. They're pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of stuff to them, which actually makes it easy. When we get into documents tomorrow, there's a lot of design, a lot of stuff you can do. We're going to go really deep into that. You're going to love it. Hey, if you know someone that needs their funnel ecosystem created, help with HighLevel, white label SaaS, any of those things, we specialize in creating all of it. We've done multiple $1 million funnel ecosystems, and we specialize in coaching, info products, or anything related to HighLevel, really. So if you have questions or need help, there is a form down below. You can sign up for an appointment and we get you started. So maybe you'll be our next case study for our $1 million awards.